All right. Well, sorry, it's been a while since I've posted anything. It's been a little stagnant around here between the weather and nothing much really happening. Didn't really have anything to show you guys, but the logging has begun. So it's a balmy 19 degrees out here. I was able to get out and kind of show you guys what's going on so far. There are definitely changes. It's definitely a little bit of a shock when you walk in, but I think in the end it is going to be absolutely fantastic. So let's take a walk around here real quick and I'll show you guys what's going on, kind of what's happening, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so first and foremost, you can see there are tops all over the place. It is a mess. It is an absolute mess, but it's a mess that I was hoping for. So if you remember previously, this woods was very, 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 very thin. Here you can see a big oak that they took. That one is going to, there's the top of it. It is going to change things drastically. Now, when you see all these tops, obviously you think bedding and how much security it's going to provide, how much screening from a deer's level, how much better it's going to be. But here's the biggest part. You look at that top and you look at the base of this big oak and you think, boy, that is a lot of acorns to get rid of. That is a ton of acorn production. But guess what we did? If you look up, look at all that clear blue sky. Well, it's cloudy sky right now, but nonetheless, sky. So the amount of sunlight that's going to be coming in here and hitting the ground is not only going to create bedding opportunities up in this area, but it's also going to create that woody regeneration, all that new stem growth, all that new forage that these deer are going to have to feed on in this area. So this entire area right here, this entire hillside is going to sprout up and explode with new growth. And like you say, or like I said, these tops, they're going to be great little bedding thickets, spots for does, fawns, young bucks, old bucks, whatever, to be able to get into and stay warm in the wintertime, provide some thermal cover. We're actually going to go through, and I'll show you guys this in a later video once we get more into spring, but we're going to go through and we're actually going to use these treetops to be able to enhance the property even more. So kind of keep that as a side note, but there is going to be more to come. They're not just dead tops. This isn't just trash laying all over the place. You can see some down there. There's some more down here, back over here. This is all providing temporary cover, but obviously it's going to die, so, and rot and fall apart and decay. So we are going to use them for more permanent structure, and I will get to that here later towards spring. But let's go take a look at another part of the woods, something you guys are familiar with. All right, guys, so we're back down here in the interior food plot, which I'm sure you're familiar with. You can always remember the big sycamores. Those always seem to stick out because there's not many around here. So, but if you look, there are some treetops and stuff down here. But what we did is we thickened up this area up here a little bit, which was already a thicket. But the big thing is this thicket over here, deer already love to bed in this. They love it. They live right there. That is on the property line. So what we're trying to do is thicken it up a little bit better on our side to be able to pull them off the other property and squeeze them a little bit closer to us. Now, the other thing that we did, since this is a food plot area, we actually extended it out over here and around the back. So that's going to be a little bit bigger. It's going to create a little bit bigger food plot, but it also acts as kind of a walkway, kind of a transition area to where they can come out of bedding, they can come out of the thicket, they can get into the food plot, still be in some good cover and stuff before it gets out here and gets too open. And it also, by putting these tops here, it creates, you can see all the deer tracks on the ground. Those aren't people. Those are deer tracks. So those deer tracks, if you look at them, it's already working. We created a defined travel route there and there, which are two spots that they were already using, but they were also coming through the middle right here. This makes them have to walk around it. By them having to walk around it, it gives us more stand opportunities up in here, stand opportunities down in here, and it's going to create a closer shot and make it a little bit easier to determine where those deer are coming from. Now, from this interior food plot, if you look up there, that opening has not been logged yet, so that's going to get trashed up as well. There are some trees that are coming out of there, but up on that top is where our main food plot is. So this is kind of a little, staging plot, the pre-feeding plot before they move out into the main holding plot the big field. And I just think defining these travel routes a little bit is going to help us immensely. And again, we did the same thing down here. So we blocked all this off. They can go there and they can go there down the path. If they go there and there, well, then we have stand opportunities there and we have stand opportunities over here. So we're defining that route of travel. That way it helps us in our hunting endeavor and gives them a couple directions. They don't feel squeezed in. They don't feel completely enclosed to where it's too tight, it's too much. You can see how wide open this is, but it also gives us a better opportunity. So let's go take a peek at another spot. So again, guys, just to orient you, that's the small food plot that we came from. The main food source, the holding plot, is up there. So again, this is also some bedding. Now my hope is, if you look over here on the hillside, that's all those treetops that we looked at the first part of this video. When I was standing up showing you the stump, showing you the sky, that's where I was standing, was right up in there. So what that's going to do, my hope is anyway, my hope is that that's going to create bedding for bucks. And the reason I say that is if we have, spin around here, if we have food here and we have big food up there, guess what? Does and fawns are lazy. They don't want to travel far to their food. So my hope is that those does and fawns are going to bed in this area and up in that area once that logging's done on that side, and that frees this entire side as well as that lower bedding area, frees all of this up and all of that up for bucks. So you're going to have that layering effect. You're going to have your does and fawns that are going to be close to their food. They're not going to move too far from it. And then behind that, you're going to have your younger bucks. And then your big mature guys are going to be further back than that. So the way that I have this set up, this ravine right here, that's all full of treetops, is about 230 yards from the food plot, the holding plot, the big one up top. So at that 230 yard mark, that should be almost ideal to be able to keep mature bucks here that are keying in on that food source. That is almost perfect distance. So take a walk up here, show you guys a little bit more. All right, guys, we're back up here on top. So where we just came from, right down there is the interior food plot, big food plots over there. This is looking down on everything you were just looking up at. But if you spin around, there's obviously some more tops back here. This is right on the property line. And again, I think these are going to be perfect for buck bedding opportunities. They're spread out enough, 40, 50 yards. They can get separation. They're going to be able to stay away from each other. But at the same time, they're also going to have that thermal protection and windbreak that they're getting from it. And again, if you look up at the sky, my goodness, look at all that sunlight that's going to be coming through there. I mean, that's every bit of 60% canopy opening, which is, well, it's 40% more than it was before. So, or I'm sorry, 60% more than it was before. So, yeah, this area through here is going to be all deer all the time. This is not going to be messed with. We're not going to be in here. The only time we're going to be in here is to shed hunt and possibly hunt a little bit throughout the rut. But outside of that, we're going to stay on the edges. There's no reason to come in here and pressure this and move these bucks out of here. I mean, they're going to have it just by the balls in here. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So the last thing that I want to do is to be pressuring it, pushing bucks out, and them never come back, because now, well, once spring green up gets here, we've got the thickest place on the block. So thickest place on the block, you're probably going to have pretty good bucks. So again, and I apologize if I sound winded, this winter storm was no joke, and this snow is pretty deep. So I'm trying to stay on the trails, but there are places that I can't. And quite frankly, I'm not in good enough shape. So, but if you look around here, there again, there's some tops. There's some tops over there. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to create, since we're not going to be in this area, none of these trails do me any good. So we're actually going to go over there. You see that tree's marked with blue. There's going to be some more cutting along that edge. Well, that's the neighbor's property. You can see the house right up there. As I mentioned in a previous video, we are going to create a road or a trail that goes down through there. It goes all the way down along the neighbor's property, because deer, especially big bucks, aren't going to walk right against the neighbor's house, and it's going to go down there and it's going to exit out the front. So that's going to be our entry and exit point for this area. We're also going to look at putting a water hole in up here. There's water down there, way down over the hill in the bottom, down by the interior food plot that we talked before. But a big buck isn't going to go down there and mess with does and fawns and everything, all the chaos and stress that goes along with it. They're going to want to stay up here on top. And if they want to stay up here on top, that's great, because if they stay up on top, they've got water, they've got bedding, they're going to have food because of this giant canopy being gone and all of the new stemmy growth that's going to be coming up. The only time they're going to venture down there is to go to the big food plot when they decide they're on their third feeding of the day. They're going to go out there and right at dark, and we'll be sitting on them waiting for them to step out into that food plot. So let's go down here. I want to show you one more thing, and this is going to be a pretty quick video because I can't feel my fingers. So show you one more thing, and we'll just keep you updated as to what's going on. All right, guys, last thing I wanted to show you here real quick. Again, if you look here, look at all the tracks, and they've been logging. So while they've been logging, every night you have deer coming through here. Now, again, that's nighttime movement. That doesn't help us as bow hunters, right? So I'm glad that they're here. I'm glad they're not totally bothered by it. At the same time, I don't really care what they do at night. I want to have them here during the day, September through December. So let's walk back here and I'll show you what I've got planned. This trail is the trail that we're going to connect, again, the neighbor's house. We're going to connect that, and we're going to run it up there to where I told you the water hole is going to be. So this will be our access. So since this is going to be our access, then what I'm considering doing, again, look at this traffic. Good Lord. I mean, just tracks galore. But back in here, being that they have the majority of this cleared out, I'm actually considering clearing the rest of it out and putting a small food plot in here. That small plot would simply be a hunting plot. It would be easy to access from the outside. We'd be able to hunt it on that side, probably only on a west or a north wind. But nonetheless, it would be a nice little plot to be able to hunt. And you have all this bedding here for does. So I think the bucks are primarily going to stay in the back where there's less commotion. And I look for the does to kind of congregate around these food sources here. There's also water down there. So, but like I say, again, hunting it from the outside, I don't think we have to worry too much about pressuring anything in here, just because the access is so easy and it's right on the outside to where we can literally walk from the house, step in a stand, and you're all set. I mean, it's not like you're trampling all the way through the woods to get to something. So, but there again, like you say, if I can clear the rest of this out and then there again, open up this canopy, because if you look, I mean, there's a lot of sunlight going to come in there, and I think this thing could flourish. And I may even just may even leave this and just split it and run it down this way, and connect it on the back side over there. That might be the best bet. The only problem with that is you can't really shoot through all these trees and stuff. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here yet though, but I wanted to pose that to you as an option. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys checking back in. Again, sorry it's such a short video. Not a whole heck of a lot to show you, but just wanted to show you that things are in progress. We got some treetops back in here as well. Big old white oak stump. And I already know in the comments, somebody's going to say, well, the white oaks, they produce acorns. You know, those are the best acorns for deer. You know, and we did leave a few stand. If you look down here, there's one down there with an orange dot on it. That one's going to be left. It's not quite big enough, but it's going to be a really nice oak in the future. And we're going to harvest it. And the reason we're going to harvest it is because, like you say, somebody's going to say, well, they produce acorns, and those acorns, you know, the deer love them, whatever. You're right, they do. Here's the problem. Acorns aren't annual. They don't happen every year. They're perennial. They happen once every 3 years. So you're not getting acorns every year, number one. Number two, the amount of mass that those produce versus that canopy opening, You look at the amount of sunlight that's going to be coming in here. This entire floor right through here, because the opening that taking that one white oak tree created, the amount of food that is going to be produced in here compared to the acorns that oak tree is going to produce is going to be massive. And all of that regrowth, all of that woody regeneration that's going to be through here is going to be every single year. You can count on it. Every single spring when things green up, this is going to be lush, full, thick. There's going to be a ton of food in here. And quite frankly, there's going to be new oak trees. So those new oak trees eventually are going to provide money for us to continue to improve this habitat. So, and it'll probably be my son, my daughter, who knows who. It won't be me in the time that it takes an oak tree to grow. But in the meantime, they're great forage for deer. So in the end, the trade-off to me, taking a few oaks, leaving a few oaks versus leaving all the oaks and having acorns spread all throughout the woods, whatever. I want to be able to create a travel pattern. I want to be able to make these deer huntable. Well, the way to make these deer huntable is to put food in certain areas and make the most appetizing food in areas that we can hunt. So, and by doing that, we're creating travel routes, we're creating corridors and reasons for them to travel the ways that they're going to travel. So, like I say, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll keep you posted as to everything that's going on, and we'll catch you on the next one.